Eren Yeager. Is that name a curse, or is it a prayer? For years, we've debated, we've argued, we've fought over this man. But today, we're doing something different. We are not just watching a story, we are opening a trial. This is the case of the world versus Eren Yeager. And you are the jury. So I need you to listen, to weigh the evidence, because today we are going to deliver the ultimate verdict. Let's call the case. The defendant, Eren Yeager. The charge, genocide. The premeditated, systematic annihilation of 80% of the human population outside of Paradise Island. Now, the facts of the act are not in dispute. We all saw it. We saw the feet of the colossal titans. We heard the screams. But in this court, facts are only half the story. The context is everything. This case wasn't born in a vacuum. It was forged in a century of blood, lies, and relentless, agonizing oppression. The people of Paradise Island, Eren's people, were caged like animals, hunted, and literally, moments before the final act, the entire world had gathered to declare their complete and total extermination. So the question for you, the jury, today, isn't what did Eren do? We know what he did. The question is, was his action an unforgivable, monstrous crime? Or was it a tragic, unavoidable, horrific necessity?
Let's begin with the prosecution. Their case is simple, and it is devastating. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I present to you Exhibit A, the rumbling. The prosecution argues that this is not self-defense. This is not a targeted military strike. This is extermination. It is the single greatest act of mass murder in human history, period. The prosecution argues that the moment Eren Yeager unleashed those titans, he became a monster far greater than any of the enemies he swore to destroy. The evidence isn't just the scale, the blood of billions, it's the intimacy of the crime. And for me, the most damning piece of evidence in this entire trial is a boy named Ramzi. Eren saw this boy. He knew this boy was innocent. He held him. He looked into his eyes. He cried for him. He apologized to him. And then he crushed him anyway. He crushed Ramzi and his brother Halil and his family and his entire continent. The prosecution rests on a simple, unshakable truth. No cause, no history, no amount of past suffering can ever justify the deliberate, conscious murder of billions of innocent people, especially children.
But now, the defense. The defense stands up and they ask one simple question. What choice did he have? Think about it. Really think about it from his perspective. For years, Paradise tried everything. They tried diplomacy. They tried espionage. They tried secretive trade negotiations. They considered the 50-year plan to slowly modernize. They considered Zeke's euthanasia plan to slowly die out. And where did it get them? It got them to a stage in Marley, where Willie Tiber, representing the will of the entire globe, officially declared war and called for their total annihilation. The world wasn't thinking about destroying Paradise. They were actively launching the invasion. This wasn't a possibility. It was a promise. The defense argues this wasn't a choice between peace and war. It was a choice between their extinction and the world's. Eren didn't start this war. He was born into it. He was born inside a cage, listening to the world screaming for his death. The defense argues this wasn't murder. It was survival. It was a desperate, cornered animal chewing off its own leg to escape a trap that had been set 100 years before he was even born. He was the only one who found a way to finish it.
The prosecution stands up furious. What choice? No choice? We are not debating the need for a deterrent. We are not debating the need for a targeted strike against the world's combined military forces. Fine, we can have that argument. But we are not debating that. We are debating the murder of billions of civilians. The prosecution points at Eren and says, he chose to kill everyone. He chose to kill 80% of the population. And let's be honest, his goal was 100%. He was only stopped. Why? Why that number? This wasn't strategy. This was rage. It was a monstrous, all-consuming tantrum on a global scale. He told us he did it to end the cycle of hatred. But what did he really do? He just proved to the survivors that the devils of paradise were real after all. He didn't just fail to end the cycle, he became the engine of the next one. He didn't just kill children like Ramzi, he created a billion new versions of himself, orphans burning with a new, and this time, a justified hatred for his people.
The fence looks shaken, but they have one final, desperate card to play, and it's the most tragic one of all. Did he really have a choice? Or was he, from the moment he kissed Astoria's hand, a slave? This is the core of the defense's argument, the tragedy of the attack titan. Eren wasn't just acting, he was following a script written before his birth. He was a slave to a future he could not change. What I find so haunting is that Eren tried to find another way. Remember his breakdown in Marley. It's all still to come. I saw it. He was weeping, not in triumph, but in despair. He was trapped. He saw a future where any other action, any compromise, any partial measure would only lead to more war, more suffering, and the eventual total destruction of his friends and his home. The rumbling wasn't just a choice, it was a destiny. And so the defense argues he made the ultimate sacrifice. He sacrificed his own soul. He sacrificed his own humanity. He became a devil to give his friends, Mikasa, Armin, Levi, Jean, Connie, the one thing they never, ever had. A long, peaceful life. He took the world's sins and his own and carried them all to his grave.
The arguments are in. The air in this courtroom is heavy. But before you, the jury, can deliberate, we must call the final witnesses. And this for me is the most compelling argument against Eren Yeager. Who are these witnesses? They are Armin Arlert, his oldest friend, the person who showed him the world. And they are Mikasa Ackerman, the person who loved him most. What did they do? Did they stand by him? Did they say, Eren is right, this is necessary, we must let him do this? No. They fought him. They rallied the survivors of Marley. They risked their lives, the very lives he claimed to be saving, to stop him. Armin, the strategist, the dreamer, believed until his final breath that there was another way. Mikasa, his heart, his anchor, knew that the man she loved had crossed a line from which he could never, ever return. So I ask the jury,
If the people who knew Eren best, who loved him most, could look him in the eye and say, "What you are doing is wrong," how can we possibly conclude otherwise?
This trial, in the end, boils down to one of the oldest questions in philosophy. Do the ends justify the means? But Isayama gives us a version of this question that is so much more brutal. This isn't the simple trolley problem. This is the hellish trolley problem. What do you do when the means is global genocide, but the end is the survival of everyone you have ever known and loved? Is there any correct answer? The deliberations are over. The prosecution and the defense have rested their cases. Now it's your turn. You are the jury. Your duty begins right now. Go down to the comments. Your verdict is one word: guilty or not guilty. But don't just write the word. I want to see your reasoning. Justify your verdict. This isn't just a judgment on Eren Yeager. It's a judgment on your own moral compass.
So who was he? Eren Yeager, the greatest mass murderer in history, or the last protector of a desperate people? The tragic truth, I think, is that he was both. But for me, the final haunting tragedy of Eren Yeager is this. He fought his entire life, screaming, bleeding, killing, all for one thing: freedom. But from the moment he kissed that hand, from the moment he saw the future, was he ever, even for 1 second, truly free?